Hello everyone, my name is Pepsilk and it's been a while since I've made a video on this channel. I've been pretty busy. Ever since I finished my last video on Deep Rock Galactic, I was going to make a DRG guides video and start doing just all Deep Rock videos. But then I realized I wasn't really feeling it, and with the environment and the way that I work around here at my house for videos and whatnot, I decided to not really do the guides because I want to be able to do them live, but I can't because the room that I had my computer set up in, which is like a study room, it's very open and there's a lot of echoes and reverb, so there's no point of bothering to do it unless I script every single video, which I don't really want to do because I prefer to do those kind of guide videos live. But anyway, enough of that. Where the hell have I been for the last 4 or 5 months? I've been mainly streaming and just gaming off stream because I got a bit bored of making YouTube videos. Like I felt like I said, the way I work, I go back and forth between my laptop and my main computer due to the fact that I record in my room and edit outside in the study room on my main PC. So it kind of got annoying to go back and forth between being able to do those things, and I just decided to stop making YouTube videos for a while. But what I have been doing is streaming on Twitch. And I'll put the link now. It's twitch.tv/Pepsilk with 2Ks. And I've mainly just been streaming Warzone and Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight I've been playing recently, like a shit ton. Fun fact, that's going to be this video actually on Dead by Daylight. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update of what I've been doing for a while over the last couple months, and I'm ready to get back into making YouTube videos. I'm ready to not necessarily grind, but continue making reviews and play a lot more different games this time around, as well as reviewing all these indie games and stuff. I have so many games in my Steam library. I haven't even touched them. Like I haven't even freaking... I get them from Humble Bundle because I pay for Humble Bundle. I add them to the library and I don't even touch them. Like it's just ridiculous. So I don't bother. But I'm going to try and bother myself this time actually, and maybe play more of those games on stream as well. I usually stream about 7 days a week. I'm thinking of changing the schedule up to make it only like 5 days and maybe stream those hours so I can delve more time into YouTube content creation, which is kind of what I'm planning to do for the foreseeable future. Since streaming for 6 to 8 hours doesn't really get you anywhere, especially when you're playing like very saturated games and stuff. It's just very boring and it doesn't feel like you're achieving a lot. So that's just me. Anyways, this is just an update to my subscribers. So any of my loyal subscribers that are out there and still watch my videos, thank you guys for streaming and tabbing my vids. I really appreciate all the views that I've gotten. I mean, my Borderlands videos are 1.6k views now, which is absolutely insane. So thank you guys a lot, and yeah, let's get on with the video. Hello everyone, my name is Pepsilk and welcome to Thoughts On. This is a series where I analyze games and give my opinions on them. Today, we'll be looking at Dead by Daylight. Developed by Behavior Interactive and released on June 14, 2016 for PC, consoles in June 2017, Nintendo Switch on September 24, 2019, and the phones on April 17, 2020. It's a 4 vs 1 asymmetrical horror game where 4 players play as survivors and must escape from the player killer. The survivor's job is to repair generators across the map, open the exit gates, and escape to prevent being sacrificed by the entity, a malevolent force. The killer must prevent the survivors from completing these objectives and kill to please the entity. I'm going to be reviewing this from the PC version, as this is the only version I've played of Dead by Daylight. This game has gone through a lot of ups and downs, as it suffered from many issues such as gameplay balance, optimization, bugs, and glitches. It was a very heavy mess. But fast forward 4 years, and Behavior have made many changes to the point where DBD is still thriving, and I believe it's at its best state right now. Let's go over why, shall we? Normally I would be putting segments in, with the title showing what that part is going to be about, but I feel like with this kind of game, it's best if I don't really put any titles in and just explain it throughout, given it's not a story game or anything like that. If you're looking for some kind of story, Dead by Daylight is not for you. But if you're looking for a multiplayer experience of this kind that can be enjoyed either solo or with friends, this is probably the best asymmetrical game you're gonna get. Let's talk about how each game of DBD works. I'm going to be talking as a survivor main, as I don't really play killer that often and I usually play this game with friends, but I can explain enough details as to how killers work as well. So you queue up, you find a killer, spawn into the map, and the objectives are simple. Repair 5 generators, open one or both exit gates, and escape. When you first play the games will most likely be easy, as there is a rank system in place to help you place with players of similar rank. So if I was to say rank 13, I'd be matching with other ranks around that number, killer included. Sounds simple enough, right? The more complicated parts come from learning the killers you go up against, looping and juking killers in order to quote unquote waste their time. Time is of the essence in DBD, and every action you make counts towards all of you either escaping or dying. I like this aspect of the game because it keeps you active and always moving, so you're always doing something. If you stumble in a game and you're just simply moving around the map and not repairing any generators, you're wasting time, and that benefits the killer by giving him/her more time to take you out. Message to take out of this? Easy gameplay loop to learn, hard to master. I think what keeps a lot of people playing Dead by Daylight is the gameplay loop alone. It's not too complicated, the games go by pretty quickly, with the game being a maximum 20 minutes long, depending on the current situation of course. And you always get a different experience since you go up against different killers. Now for killers, their goals are simple but hard to master as well. Stop the survivors from repairing generators, hook, and kill to please the entity. The hard parts? Knowing what gen survivors are on, doing 50-50s during chases, so basically changing the chase as it's ongoing to try and fake a survivor out or something like that, and keeping an eye out for survivors unhooking. There's a lot that goes into being a killer, and you have to be efficient, smart, and think about the actions you take. You have to consider whether you're wasting the survivors' time to save their fellow survivors, or if they're making more progress towards generators. There's a lot that happens with both roles. I do want to mention this in case I forget later. If you have friends to play with, play Survivor. You get the best experience possible and you can communicate with each other, which is hard to do in solo queue. There isn't really a lot of communication options besides text chatting in the pre-game and post-game lobby, and gestures in game, but that's about it. Solo queue is what you would expect from a competitive game like Counter-Strike, Valorant, or Rainbow Six Siege. It's all luck on whether you get good teammates or toxic ones. At least you can skip the game summary if you die before the game ends, so you don't gotta deal with all that. If you want a solo queue, stick with playing killer. It's more fun and you don't gotta tilt over teammates that make bad decisions and do something wrong. You can simply blame yourself instead and learn from your mistakes. The same mentality of learning also applies to survivors as well. Dead by Daylight is surprisingly in-depth when it comes to progression. The progression trees are called blood webs, and they're procedurally generated for each survivor/killer. So when you first level a character, you start off with only a couple of things to pick from. You have to pick them for around the first 10 to 15 levels, but after that the web begins to close after you've picked a certain number of things, and you have to do some decision making as to which items you choose to get what you want. The things that the blood web can spawn in include offerings, which provide bonuses in game, items and add-ons for your character so you can bring something into the game that'll help you boost your chances of survival or chances of success when it comes to killing survivors, and perks, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. How do I level up the blood web, do you ask? Well, you earn blood points from the games that you play, and it's capped at 1 million, so if you choose to save, you best spend it before you hit that cap, otherwise you miss out on some sweet levels. Perks are skills that each survivor/killer have and provide stat bonuses, as well as give players more options as to what they can do in a game. 3 different builds I can think of off the top of my head are Chasers, Generator Rushing, and Stealth. DBD has many different perks that can cater to many playstyles and gives players flexibility and choice. At first glance, when you hover over a character, the perks that you see can only be used by that character. Thankfully though, once you hit level 30, 35, and 40 respectively, which you can see when you look at their character info, the perks become teachables, meaning that you can make that perk appear on other character skill trees, which is great since you can essentially run the same build but on a different character. And it helps to progress blood points and, make more bank, I guess. I feel that the killers benefit more from teachables than survivors do, because you can turn the killer that you play into such a deadly one, or a completely different character of its own, since each killer has their own secondary attacks and such. Not saying it's bad on survivors though, because it's good to go for specific perks that could benefit your build in a big way. Speaking of killer abilities, let's talk about them. Each killer comes with the same melee basic attack, but have different movement speeds, terror radius, and secondary attacks. A terror radius is the heartbeat that you hear when a killer is near you in a game. I remember when I first played DBD, it was really scary to hear that heartbeat go off because it felt like something bad was going to happen. Over time though, that scare factor fades away and it becomes more of a, let's do the objective until we know he's really close, then get the fuck out. Instead of a, oh shit, we gotta go now, he's coming bro! Depending on the killer, this can either be really big or really small. The movement speeds is good to know as a survivor so you know how much traction and distance you can get from the killer. There's a lot of killers available in DBD, so I'll just explain a couple and how to quick counter them as a survivor. Bubba, or Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, is a killer who has a simple basic attack and has a chainsaw, which is used to go towards someone at a certain direction for a duration of time. It can also one-hit you as well. His add-ons allow him to keep his chainsaw out for longer and decrease the charge time, so you can use it faster. Best way to counter Bubba? Use Windows so you lose the value of his chainsaw and force him to basic attack you instead. Nurse is a killer that can blink twice towards you and slash as soon as she gets the blinker. She lacks mobility however, but it doesn't matter too much since she can get her blink back instantly. Best way to counter her is to play stealth and try not to get in her line of sight. If you do, use the environment to fake her out and teleport her to a place that you wouldn't be at. Most of the chases with her are 50-50 to be honest. Lastly, we have Legion. Now Legion's a really fun character in my opinion because he's armed with a knife, he looks like he's straight out of the Purge, and basically he can go into a frenzy mode where you can quick vault pallets and windows and basically just run extremely fast at you, stabbing you, and he puts you in like this deep wound state where you gotta mend yourself, or else if you don't, you'll end up bleeding out and you'll just go into the injured state. But his playstyle is all about just damaging people, and the best way to counter him is to, you could either pallet stun him while he's in the frenzy mode, let him hit you because he has to go towards someone else anyway. But aside from that, there really is no counters to Legion. It's more so just a game of just running around with him and going on runs and, you know, letting him burn out. It's more so just about not being near him. Like if you kind of play stealth with him, he like kind of loses his value. But for the most part, he's a really fun killer. All killers have their own playstyles and abilities, and it's best to learn them so you can adapt to the game and situation that you're in. Whew, that was a lot of gameplay talking. Now that's out of the way, let's head over to the Rift and Tomes. The Rift is essentially DBD's battle pass, and fragments are earned by completing tome challenges. It's your typical battle pass with cosmetics, charms, and the premium currency called Oryx cells, which I'll get to in a moment in how you use them. The cool part is you can head over to the compendium and pick the previous tomes from other seasons. And the last time I played DBD before diving back into it again recently, didn't have the battle pass. Plus you get blood points for completing them too, so that's nice. As you complete the character challenges, you get audio logs on each of the characters which give players lore in learning about the backstory and how they got into the entity trials in the first place. I just do the challenges for the blood points. Like, who the hell cares about the lore, right? The DBD store is typically what you expect from an in-game store. Cosmetics and charms that you can equip for your characters, and outfits, basically, that you can just wear on your favorite character, or whoever you like. But you can also buy survivors and killers from there too. Now, there is DLC in this game, each costing around $9.95 AUD, except for the Stranger Things pack, which is $16.95 because that comes with 3 characters instead of 2. Some cost $7.50 because they only provide 1 character, like the Ghostface pack, or the Ash vs Evil pack. That one's the same as well. But if you do choose to buy one of the $9.95 ones, you get 1 survivor and 1 killer for each. However, you can purchase most of these characters with either the Oryx cells, which you earn from the battle pass or spend real money on, or iridescent shards, which are earned by gaining experience points and leveling your player level, not your character's level. Characters can be bought for 8,000 to 9,000 shards and can save you money, providing you put the time in. It's a bit of a grind. It takes roughly around, I think, 46 or 50 levels just to be able to get 1 character. So it's a bit of a grind, but it's not too bad. It's worth it. Like, if you love the game, you probably won't even think about it, to be honest. You can also spend these shards in the Shrine of Secrets, where you can purchase teachable perks. It's always 2 killer and survivor perks, and it resets every week. If you have the perk already unlocked, you can still purchase it and gain 150,000 blood points instead. That's a win-win if you ask me. Before I wrap this up, I just want to give a quick mention to the graphics. Yes, the game has seen its age recently, and it doesn't really look on par compared to current games. But Behavior Interactive is doing an entire graphics update to prepare for its next-gen console release, updating the game's engine and looks, and they started that off from the release of Descent Beyond. It's looking really good so far, and I can't wait to see what it looks like when all the graphical updates come through. Performance-wise, this game is locked to 60 FPS for some reason, and the game's optimization is alright. It dips in certain maps, but it's not that big of a deal, considering what kind of game DBD is. The only thing I did to make the gameplay experience feel smoother is turn off VSync, but you gotta do that in the game files. I'll put a link to a Steam guide in the description if you guys want to try it for yourself. It makes the gameplay a lot better. Dead by Daylight is a great game, and I highly recommend to check it out right now. With its sheer amount of content, build variety, and maps, you don't even need the DLC to play with survivors or killers, much like in other games. Yes, it can be very grindy, but if you end up loving the game, you probably won't think about it. The graphical updates and reworks that they've done over the last year is a step in the right direction, and I hope to see the game grow even further. You could buy it on Steam for $28.95 AUD, and I can recommend it at its full price, given that the basic characters and killers you get have really good perks all around and help you get into the game. Quick and easy. It usually goes on sale at 60% off when a new DLC comes out, which is, I think, every 2 or 3 months. But, yeah, still pretty good. If it does end up going on sale in the next month, on the other hand, I highly recommend buy it. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, like the video. If I missed anything, comment down below, subscribe for more, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Peace. And it feels good to be back, baby. I'm going to keep the grind going for as long as I can.